Do you like fantasy football and sports betting? Come join us here at the Parlay Fantasy Football Podcast, where hosts Matt, Shane, and Jason talk about fantasy players, lineups, and sports betting to help you compete and win championships. And of course, some extra cash. Let's jump right into the show.
What is up? Welcome back to the Parlay Fantasy Football Podcast. This is Shane, and that is your boy, Jason. We are without our captain, Mr. Matt Stroh. He is taking the day off to go do some daddy-daughter things, but shout out, Matt. We still love you deep in our heart of Texas. Jason, how are you doing?
Doing well. Hey, respect Matt for doing the father-daughter thing. You're going to be doing that here in a couple of years, Shane. So,
Oh, yeah.
utmost respect for him doing that. We will hold it down in the fantasy episode because we got this going, and I think we have the fantasy side kind of figured out a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
And just a quick recap. It was kind of a shoddy week for most of the NFL games. So if you just decided to take a walk outside and check your fantasy scores later, we don't blame you. But we will give you a rundown of what you need for week 9 going ahead here. But before we get into that, let's do a little housekeeping. This is the Parlay Fantasy Football Podcast, brought to you by Fantasy Six Pack. Go ahead and head on over to fantasysixpack.net and check out the specifically best bets, because that's where we have our stuff. But if you aren't interested in betting stuff, go ahead and check out the rest of the page. It's fantastic. Joe and the team, and us as well, create some of the best fantasy sports and gambling content in the universe. And it is your chance, your opportunity to go ahead and lock that in for a special 15% off using code ParlayFF at the checkout. Man, if you guys haven't checked out the YouTube video, watched our beautiful faces just chit-chatting back and forth, showing off some cool graphics, getting the cool cuts in here, you got to. And you got to go smash that like button. We're found everywhere on podcast. Hit the like, hit the 5 stars. You know what to do. I don't got to tell you. You're an adult, I'm assuming. Without further ado, Jason, let's get into the newest, the hottest segment on the block, the one that everyone's talking about. It is so loud is what it is. I'm so sorry. We will try to edit that, make it just a little quieter, but the cone of shame for those of you that aren't watching the video podcast, because you would see it's the cone of shame here. Jason, would you like me to go first? Would you like me to take over the honors, or are you rearing and ready to go? Do you want to get in, sink your teeth into who you're trying to call out this week?
I don't have a crash out like I have in the weeks past, so I will let you have this one.
Sick. Listen, I have an absolute crash out, and I don't even have data from when he played last week because they were on bye. But let me tell you this. We're going to compare 2 players, Jason. I have a fun game. This is tell me which player is which. This is a player who is considered the wide receiver 2 on his offense. He plays for a pretty good team, not a fantastic team, but this is his finishes. Wide receiver 112, wide receiver 41, wide receiver 117, wide receiver 10, wide receiver 73, wide receiver 67, wide receiver 19, wide receiver 78. That's option 1.
He was on bye last week.
This maybe we were picking between 2 players. You have to decide which player you would rather have on your team.
Okay.
And where did my guy go? Oh, hold on. Sorry, technical difficulties over
No, you
here.
good, because the first option you gave me is kind of gross.
Oh, don't worry. It gets just as ugly on the other side. For option 2, we have wide receiver 61, wide receiver 10, wide receiver 55, wide receiver 61, number 90, number 13, and number 120. Which one of these wide receivers is ranked as a top 30 wide receiver?
None.
Wrong.
One.
One.
Yeah.
One of them is Jameson Williams.
I was gonna say Marvin Harrison.
That's a good guess, but it is in fact the JMO.
Okay.
The other one is Marvin Mims Jr.
I got the first name right.
Yes, indeed. It is. He has the exact same stats as wide receiver 68, Jason. I don't understand the premium at this point for Mr. JMO. I get it. He can have a bad week. You can be uninvolved, but to be this uninvolved constantly and to even have your spike weeks he's only produced 2 spike weeks the whole season. So like, where's the upside? I can play Troy Franklin and he'll put up 26 points on a random Tuesday, but JMO's putting up 17.8 is his highest points per game. That's insane. So where's my upside? What is my incentive of having JMO be my starter? Right. I don't think there's one at this point. I think it's unfortunately the handicap of the fact that the Detroit Lions don't have to do the things that JMO's good at. And sometimes when you play on a good team and they don't do the things that you're good at, you just don't get the football. That's it. And for fantasy football, I'm sorry, JMO, but you're not cutting it. And I'm trying to trade you if I can. If somebody in my league is bullish or wants to go ahead and get a part of the JMO train, take him. Give me Troy Franklin plus. Because I'll win. Thanks.
He's a boomer bust, and he had one great game in the first 3 weeks of the season, or was it the first week of the season that he did really well downfield?
It was week 2. He had 17.8 points.
Right.
And then against us, he had 15.6 points.
And that was tops, right?
Yeah, that was wide receiver 10 and wide receiver 15 or 13 finishes.
I don't think he hasn't had more than 7 targets in a game, correct?
I think he had exactly 7 targets, and I think it was against us.
It's boomer bust with him, and it's one of the things where
he can either put 8 against Cleveland, and he only caught 2 of them.
He can either put 30 one week, or he's going to put up 6. He's one of those guys.
Yeah, Would you rather start JMO, Gary Terry, Rashid Shaheed?
God, that's so gross.
Here, I'll make it even grosser.
If Jaden Daniels is playing, Scary Terry.
Okay.
I think Shaheed has a higher ceiling.
Upside. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those 3 are all grouped within 5 spots of each other in ECL. So, like, I just don't understand the appeal to being like, JMO should be ranked this high. I don't think he's not a wide receiver 3. He's not. I don't understand the sauce that everybody's on because he hasn't produced like a wide receiver 3 the whole season.
They don't have Ben Johnson who is willing to take chances even if they
drain.
are up. Exactly. To where they're okay being conservative, giving the ball to Gibbs or
I'll roll out Parker Washington or Darius Slayton or Christian Watson going forward, I think, over JMO in leagues because they have more solidified opportunity. And I'm not banking on it's truly your dice rolling for JMO, and he still hasn't even been wide receiver 1 or even in the top 5. Like, he has 1 game where he's a top 10 wide receiver, 1 wide receiver 1 finish the entire season. That's crazy.
I think Goff and the Lions know that they don't have to be ultra aggressive in order to win games. They can kind of dial it back a little bit, rely on the run game, and their defensive line is healthy this year to where they can actually just be conservative and they don't have to punt. They can punt and rely on their defense a little bit more.
Yeah, Troy Franklin has 2 top 10 wide receiver finishes.
And he went off last week.
He did. He was wide receiver 1 last week. Yeah. Weird. I'm pretty sure Trey Tucker has more top 10 finishes.
All right, Shane, can I vent?
Yes, go ahead, take it away. Who are we not wanting to play with anymore? Who are we fading? Jason.
Well, Shane, real quick, going into that, if I have any stock in the Denver Broncos receiving core, I'm so upset. Unless it's like Troy Franklin or something. Even RJ Harvey went off last week. It's like, what is going on with this offense?
Yeah.
Sean
Everybody
Sean Payton's a
participated except for
genius.
J.K.
Yeah.
Dobbins, who didn't get in the end zone. He had 120 yards rushing or something like that,
Yeah.
and they still didn't give him a touchdown. They had 3
Yeah.
rushing touchdowns. They didn't give the guy who's the vet. That blew my mind. But that's neither here nor there.
Neither
Trade
here nor
J.K.
there.
Dobbins.
Yeah. I just wanted to vent real quick. No, hey, my ton of shame is going with the guy who actually did score a touchdown last week, Shane. Chuba Hubbard.
Do tell me more.
Chuba Hubbard scored a, what do we like to call it? What's the word for it? A late game touchdown that meant nothing. What's the word that we like to use for that?
Garbage time?
Exactly. He scored a
Garbage truck.
garbage time touchdown to where Rico Dowdle is the hot hand in that offense, but doesn't play. He didn't play as much as he did last week because they were down so much and down early. Buffalo was okay. They're not the best. Bryce Young getting hurt kind of hurt Dowdle's stock in that game. He only got 8 touches last week. He did put up yards, but at the same time, Shane, it's not looking good for Chuba going forward unless he wants to be a third down back. Dowdle has gotten an average in the past 4 games, 19 touches out of the backfield, and has performed and put up the yardage that you want to see out of a running back one. Chuba is getting his touches, I think, only because they paid him. They want to see they want to pay. They want to show that, hey, we paid you for a reason. Go after it.
I agree. I think that there's a really good chance that Rico is, and Canales even kind of alluded to this in his post game presser, that Rico's probably going to be the beneficiary going forward. Basically, it was like, yeah, Chuba didn't really have it, and we saw that.
And if they're in games, Dowdle is going to get the ball early in games with the hot hand. That's basically what it's going to be. Chuba's only going to be in there for a third down back out of the backfield for touches. I think he's more dynamic as a third down back and receiving the football, but Dowdle has a hot hand running the football.
That is true.
Yeah. That's what I got. I'm done venting. I love Chuba because I'm an Oklahoma State guy.
Yeah, I can tell it kind of pain. This wasn't really venting. This felt like more like you were like exposing your soul here just a little bit. It felt like it hurt you to say this. I know it probably did, just a little bit.
Well, you know what's crazy? It was him or Jalen Warren, who are both Oklahoma State guys. And I think Chuba's better than Jalen, but at the same time, Jalen's in a better situation than Chuba at the moment.
Next you're gonna fade Brandon Whedon or something. I don't know.
Tyreek. But I mean, we saw what happened.
I mean, yeah, that's true.
I went there.
You did. I wasn't gonna go there. You went there. Thank the Lord you did, because it's time for the next best segment that we got. It's time for news and notes. Listen, hot off the press, we got some news for you. Listen, the Browns, Bucks, Eagles, and Jets all on bye this week. And it's a good thing because Saquon Barkley has an injured hamstring. So those of you that are looking ahead, maybe have the extra bench spot, go ahead and snag you some Tank Bigsby, because who knows? We won't get an update on Quad's availability until next week. So if you got that extra bench spot, go ahead and make the stash. Scary Terry was seeing his shadow come back from injury, and he's back on the questionable list because he was like, hey, my quarterback's not here. And Marcus Mariota definitely scared him back into being hurt. Quinshon Judkins left the game with a shoulder injury. There's been no update yet on his availability. If he's not a full go, Jerome Ford and Dylan Sampson are your guys to go get. Carson Wentz is on IR, done for the season with a shoulder injury. And let me just say, it was painful to watch. We could all tell that Ish was gone and that he was still playing. So good for you, Carson Wentz. You've earned, I think, everybody's respect for the fact you gutted that shit out. Cam Scattaboo, speaking of that was awful to see. And I don't wish that on anybody, especially someone who I think everybody in the world was starting to root for. It was like Old Yeller. That's what it felt like. I'm gonna be completely honest. It felt like Old Yeller action. It was just. But anyways, Tyrone Tracy and Devin Singletary are the beneficiaries of the terrible accident, and may he have a speedy recovery and be headbutting the walls soon.
I think in 2 years, if Jackson starts, if he actually gets better with Dables and whatnot and keeps on progressing, that team is scary.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun too. Neighbors come back. You get Wandale there too, and you just kind of progress.
It's not going to be next year, but it's going to be 2 years.
Probably
right?
Yeah. 2 years from now, the window would open. I do say that they probably need to address the offensive line before they make any time.
They got 2 years.
They do, and they need to. So, speaking of offensive line, for some reason, the Chiefs decided to go ahead and roll their team out there, up 21 points in the fourth quarter with 7 minutes left, and Isaiah Pacheco strained his MCL. So, Brashard Smith, I don't know. It's going to be Kareem Hunt getting the touch on the end zone anyways. It's the guy you want. Tyler Shough is the official starter in Nolans. And let me tell you, no one cares because that team is terrible and he's not going to be a fantasy relevant. And there is a missing persons report, Jason. It is Mr. Captain Kirk. He's missing in action. We have still not seen him. He has officially requested a trade, which is kind of funny. And then notable, we have no idea. Please come ahead and check back later at a later time. Someone else will be giving you the update. It is Brock Purdy, Lamar Jackson, Michael Penix, J.J. McCarthy, and Bryce Young all making the list. We kind of know that J.J.'s probably going to play. He looked pretty spry on the sideline, dodging wide receivers, rolling up on his ankle. But Brock Purdy, Lamar, Penix, Bryce Young, all still no specific availability, and we know that Harbaughs typically don't tell their secrets. So 2 of these we may not find out until Friday. Oh, wait, the Ravens play on, so I guess that makes sense still, Friday.
I like what you did right there.
Thanks.
And I'm so indifferent right now, and I don't want to get mad over the Kirk Cousins situation because the reason they played him, they had to, but his trade stock went so down to where they would have to pay a majority of his contract after what we saw, and they can't get their best player the football more than 10 times, or at least 10 times, which is crazy.
Yeah, the issue, I think, is who wants him? There's no team that's competing that has lost their starting quarterback.
Right.
The Bengals filled a stopgap. They were tired of the Jake Browning experience and went and got the guy that was cheap and Flacco. So, like, who's going to do it? Is it Clinton?
Minnesota would be the only team I could think of.
I think if you're Minnesota, you just roll out JJ.
Oh, exactly. But do they have a decent backup? I don't know who the third string quarterback is now for Minnesota.
I know this answer. I unfortunately know this answer because I looked it up when Carson Wentz was dying in that game. I don't know off the top of my head, though. But let me tell you this, Jason. If he is bad enough that he did not play in that game that Carson Wentz was quite literally throwing up on the sideline from pain, I don't think that they ever want to start him.
I think it's a decent decision, though, because I feel like you can wait a couple years to start a younger quarterback. And we know JJ, he wasn't the reason why Michigan won the Natty whenever they did.
He was pretty integral. I think that JJ has gotten a bad rap so far. I am very interested in the outcome here. So let's just
Okay, that's fair.
peel back the onion here, and we'll get into the sauce here later. I was going to say the team that I think is an interesting spot was actually Cleveland.
I think they would rather tank for a QB at this point.
I mean, yeah, but how long are you to keep Myles Garrett around? And happy.
Well,
And
that's
you
why
just
they
paid
paid
him.
him.
I
That's why
know,
they
but
paid him
like,
50.
but that doesn't mean he's happy. You're trying to keep him happy.
He
I
went up
digress.
against a top 10 first round draft pick in Will Campbell, and ate him up.
Absolutely whooped that booty. Yeah, 5 sacks. Shout out Myles Garrett. Fun fact: Myles Garrett is not currently Defensive Player of the Year #1.
No way.
Yep, it is Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons at plus 130 is the favorite for Defensive Player of the Year. You can still get Myles Garrett at plus 250. It is just asinine to me. But I digress. This is not the betting episode.
Yeah.
But maybe listen to the betting take there. The Ravens take on the Dolphins, and they are the Fighting Dolphins now, fighting for Mike McDaniel's right to continue to coach down there. And let me tell you, Jason and I had the conversation where this game would have been really interesting if it wasn't Thursday night, because Miami on Sunday if it was like a midday game, Miami on Sunday would have made this interesting because they would have had the advantage. The Ravens would be getting cooked alive on the sideline. Unfortunately for them, it is Thursday night football. They're expecting Lamar. It's probably not vintage Lamar, but good enough is, I think, all you have to ask for from this Ravens team. Jason, anybody you're looking at? I'm looking at Isaiah Likely to maybe be more relevant going forward if Lamar's back and healthy.
Especially if Lamar plays. It's one of those things, it's a toss-up whenever you play the receivers with the Ravens. Hopkins gets the clutch down kind of back shoulder fades. Andrews has not really been there this year. Henry is going to be their workhorse. I love what Huntley does as a backup quarterback.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
the
Snoop is a dog.
best thing you could ever ask for as
Certified dog.
but Bateman is the only like hit or miss kind of guy that you can go for. I mean, like
He's a first down getter. He's a grocery getter.
Or he is the bomb threat.
Yeah.
Like go down deep. It's one of those things.
They also use Zay Flowers for that sometimes. Zay Flowers is the guy that you're going to play.
Yeah.
If you're playing the Ravens, if you're playing a Ravens wide receiver, it's Zay Flowers, and you just forget about it. And the Dolphins, you're firing up everybody because the Ravens defense sucks.
They played better last week.
And Roquan Smith is healthy, which is a huge benefit for the Ravens.
Right. They've gotten better over the past 2 weeks, especially going up against the Rams 2 weeks ago. I think that was a big thing with them getting healthy. But at the same time, do you trust Tua to have 2 great weeks in a row? That's the big question. I'm hoping not, because I like Mike McDaniels to get fired and I want him to be the OC for the Texans. That's a story for another day. But at the same time, I don't trust Tua to have 2 good weeks in a row.
I love that you're rooting against Mike McDaniels being a head coach so that he can just be your OC. I really appreciate that about you right now. I will say it makes sense. Also, I think McDaniels is a fantastic head coach. I think that the Dolphins have just been incredibly unlucky, and I don't think Tua is the future of that franchise. So I think that it's a combo of their defense is terrible. Their offense isn't that good. They lost a key piece in Tyreek Hill, and Tua was not the guy. And I think that you can't hang that on Mike.
Right.
And if you do, who's gonna fill the position better? That's my question. But
yeah, you're not wrong. It's just Tua makes these dumb-headed throws sometimes, and you're like, what are you doing, bro?
Most accurate quarterback in football, baby.
My question is Ollie Gordon kind of a sneaky flex play?
If you think the Dolphins can stay in this game, yes.
Right, because
I
He's
think
had two decent games
Mhm.
as an RB and looks great, but only when they're in
Hey,
only when they're
quit
in games.
quit pumping up Ohio State's or Oklahoma State's bags. Okay, quit it. You stop it. You stop it. Listen, this game is supposed to be high scoring. It's a Thursday night game though, so take that with a grain of salt and maybe expect some fireworks though. Going on,
Last Thursday night went over. I don't
it
expect
did.
it to
Yeah, don't
be
get
like
used
that.
to it. Don't get used to fun games on Thursday. That's like
Yeah,
90% of what we should just. It is a caution flag. It's a yellow flag. We'll call it
yeah.
like yeah, like with the Chiefs. Don't get thrown on the other team. Um, the Bills versus Bengals. Whoa, Bills. The Bears versus Bengals. Speaking is hard sometimes. Is our second matchup of the week. They kick off the noon slate, and let me tell you this: Rome was not burning. But I expect to bounce back here because the Bengals defense is cheeks. And let me just say that DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monogany probably going to eat because the Bengals defense is cheeks. And Trey Hendrickson also may be out for this game. So they went to cheeks times 2. Jason, any other thoughts on this game aside from just start the Bengals players that you have and really want to and start
No,
Start
100%.
Colston Loveland.
Yeah.
Loveland? Colston Loveland. Yes.
He has proved to be a starter in this league now, especially with the Bengals
Komet.
defense that is
Well, yeah, and Komet's
not
hurt
very
still,
good.
so he's not splitting time. When he's splitting time with Komet, it's tough because he's
It's
not like
just
100% on the field. But when he's not, he's the lock. Like
it's just tough because Caleb Williams has these up and down games, and you really don't know what you're going to get. But at the same time, you are so happy that Flacco is your quarterback. If you are Jamar Chase, if you are a Higgins, if you're a Chase Brown owner, they are rejuvenated. They are getting their touches and they are getting their points. Love, awesome. Samaj P run. If you need a flex play, is it also a good play?
I think Samonjay's a pretty solid play. Let me just say that I think he's the better back in that backfield. And I think that the Bengals were kind of had realized that Chase Brown can't do it all. And the Savante being on the field gives them a different feel. So maybe more Samaje, less Chase Brown. Just saying.
Well,
But
and
also the
you
Bengals look like they figured out the run game the past 2 games. So like I'm not gonna like be like bang the drum like Chase Brown's trash. The Bengals have figured it out, it seems, with Joe Flacco. A little bit. A little bit.
fun fact, Samaje went to Henderson High School. Hendrickson High School in Pflugerville. Had 7 touches versus my high school whenever I was a sophomore and had 280 yards rushing.
That's
Crazy.
light work.
But
Light
he's
work.
a seasoned vet.
Yes. Oh yeah. I
Pro.
was gonna say that's light work. Go ahead and check Derrick Henry for those
No.
stats. He still hasn't beat his stats from high school, and he spent 12 years in the league now, which is wild.
Dumb.
Anyways, 49ers, Giants, 1:00 kickoff in New Jersey. This game is gonna be a shit show. That's how I'm going to say it. The Niners are super banged up. We don't know about Brock Purdy's status. We know Cam Scatterboo's missing, so you're running out backups on both sides. I think the honest to God way to play this is you play the guys you were going to play. So if Ricky Pearsall's available, you play him. If not, it's probably Kendrick Bourne, and it's George Kittle, and of course it's Christian McCaffrey.
And Jennings.
Jennings, if you want
possibly.
to.
Yeah.
If you want to. I think Jennings is such a question mark. He reminds me a lot of JMO at this point. Like he's such a question. He's a mystery box. It could be anything. It could even be a mystery box. It could be a boat. And the Giants, Darius Slayton is my sleeper. So, and Wandale Robinson, or like who's not a sleeper. He's not available in any of your leagues. So Darius Slayton had a 26% target rate this past week.
And a touchdown called back on
yes,
for some BS.
And should not have been a called back touchdown. That was not offensive pass interference. Those are the weakest ever.
Yeah.
Anyways,
We don't need to talk about that game.
I was getting riled up about that game.
Yeah, let's not talk about that. Hey, Singletary pickup if you are looking for a handcuff play.
Yeah, like handcuff or just like an RB3, like someone you can put in your flex and like he's guaranteed to get you points.
Yeah.
You don't feel great about it, but he may scratch the itch and he may get in the end zone.
Agreed.
Falcons Patriots. Listen, the Falcons, we have zero idea on the status of Mr. Michael Penix. And unfortunately, at this time, it does not seem that we will get one before we end this podcast. So I can't give you an idea of what to do for the Falcons. But if Drake London's there, I think you can probably fire him in Kyle Pitts backup. Darnell Mooney also was hurt, so Mooney's off the table. They were choosing to hand the ball off to Tyler Algier instead of Bijan Robinson. So I don't know. The Falcons are speaking of the giant mystery box, they're the giant mystery box. I have no idea what they're going to do.
Dumpster fire.
Yeah, you drafted certain guys high, play those guys. That's all I got. And then you have MVP candidate Drake May. Jason, what are your thoughts on the Patriots? Is there anybody or any bootay that you want to talk about?
Dude, it's weird with the Patriots. I don't know who is going to touch the football and get the majority of the targets. I know I can trust Hunter Henry. Butte, Diggs is still kind of weird. I don't want to touch any of the running backs, even though Ramondre is RB1 there, which is still crazy to me.
Henderson Travion Henderson looked better this weekend. I will say that.
Ramondre is going to be RB1 still for the majority of the season and get the touches in the first half.
Yes. I will say, though, I think they made a concerted effort to get Travion involved because they've heard the heat. And I think that the GM might have made a call of, hey, why the F did we spend a second-round pick on this dude if you guys aren't going to use him? And I think that there's a serious conversation there to be had about, did Travion Henderson sleep with someone's mom? Because that's the only way that he hasn't been able to get any touches in this league. Because we saw it on tape at Ohio State. We haven't seen it on tape in the NFL, but you also haven't given the man a chance. So, like, Travion, my God. Let me get really close. Travion, stop fucking your teammates' sisters. Okay?
He did something, but would you trade for him with his stock as low as it is right now for the second half of the season for a possible upside?
Yeah. It's a zero cost. Trade someone who's all right. Here you go, Jason. JMO for Travion Henderson. Plus, I'm making the guy with Travion Henderson pay me to take JMO. Pay me more.
I think that's an even trade. 100%.
Yeah. So Trey and I don't know, another piece. If you do draft picks, that's fine. If you whatever.
What about Pearsall for Henderson? Or is that you giving up too much?
You're gonna have to give up a lot to get Trey, to get Pearsall from Trey.
Okay.
I think you're gonna have to give Trey plus another starter. Not. I think that if a owner has held Pearsall through this whole shenanigan of he's gonna play, he's not gonna play, he's gonna play, he's not gonna play, they're probably pretty bullish on Pearsall. Because I'm assuming your league makes it kick the tires. If no one has, then maybe kick the tires. See if he's like, hey, I'm done with this.
Fair.
But yeah, Pearsall is also a buy low.
Mm-hmm.
Colts Steelers. This game. Who would have thought we would be circling this one as this is going to be a wild shootout? Both defenses pretty sus. Both offenses play through one guy. DK Metcalf on one side, Jonathan Taylor on the other, and honorable mention Tyler Warren and Jalen Warren. So it's weirdly enough the Warrens and DK and JT. I think that summarizes the entire game.
Are we surprised JT is having a career year?
No. We should no and no.
I know
He
that's
he
what I'm
has one of
saying.
the best offensive lines in football still. The biggest surprise comes from Daniel Jones shocking the world and being like, hey, this team's playing my strength and they want to give me the chance to succeed. And other teams can't really stop us or pressure me. And he's also been really good against the pressure this year. Like he has one of the higher QBRs when pressured, which was a big hiccup when he was in New York. But I also think it's because the team just trusts him more. I don't know. It doesn't look he doesn't look a whole lot different than he did when he was in New York. But he's playing a whole lot different.
And it's crazy that defenses have to respect Danny Dimes for how he's playing right now, to where
Yeah.
which opens up both him and JT going forward. That the receiving core there is kind of iffy on what you want to do.
Well, the part of the thing with the receiving core is they're good enough at all five
Exactly.
to make you respect it, which I don't think he ever had as a New York Giant. And he
But
never
who do
had
you
an offensive line. So like that's a
who do
huge
you like who do you like the most out of that receiving core if like you can go and
plus.
get? But or do you not want to go and get like an Alec
I don't want to
Pierce
trade
or
for I don't want to trade for a single Colts wide receiver unless his name is Warren. That is the only player, and you're not going to be able to touch Warren with a 10 football. No one in their right mind is trading Tyler Warren.
right?
So like
So Downs and Pittman are still even a toss up.
yeah, you don't know which one's going to be involved every week. The main offense is literally hand the ball off to JT on a read option, and then Daniel Jones runs the football, or he pulls it out and throws it to Tyler Warren, or he maybe throws a check down to Downs like that.
Yeah.
But then also MPJ runs the exact same routes that Downs does. So like you don't
Right.
know which it's toss up. It's not
All
worth
you're
playing the gamble.
all you're asking for Danny Dimes to do is not turn the football over.
Yeah, and he does a pretty good job of that
Yeah.
when you keep him on schedule and you have a running back and a great offensive line.
Do you like Calvin Austin for
No.
the Steelers?
No.
Okay.
He had a flash in the pan. He reminds me of Trey Tucker. He's like an undersized guy that like has a couple flash in the pan games, but like he's not going to be a needle mover on every week, but occasionally he will throw a week in there where you're like, why is this guy on my bench?
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, it's hard to start anybody really on the Steelers other than Warren or DK at the moment. Freiermuth
and
possibly, but he had just one good game and hasn't done anything
I was
since
like, pick
then.
a tight end and hope. Well, they're gonna
Exactly.
use 5 tight ends.
Yeah.
They're gonna use a left tackle. A left tackle got a reception last week. So, and they still lost the game, which is wild.
Hey, real quick, the Vikings backup quarterback was Brosmer, and
Yes.
they have Desmond Ritter on their roster as well.
Why was Desmond Ritter not suited up for the game with Carson Wentz?
Had Desmond Ritter on their roster last week, and the Vikings actually released him. Never mind, they just actually released him.
That is shocking.
Yeah, so it's Brosmer going forward.
Wow. Anyways, Desmond Ritter to fall from grace. How far the mighty have fallen. Anyways, the Panthers and the Packers. Speaking of how mighty they have fallen, this game is about as ugly as you can ask for in the 1:00 slate. It mirrors a lot of the second game or the next game we're going to talk about. And let me just tell you this: I don't want to touch anybody on the Panthers if Andy Dalton's starting. If it's Bryce Young, my sleeper is Jalen Coker. That's my hot take. And the Packers, you're starting everybody you can, including Christian Watson, who just balled out on his first game back from a torn ACL.
Is it crazy for me to think and say that Jordan Love is the best, most inconsistent quarterback in the league? Has a
Most
great game.
inconsistent.
Well, like I'm saying, like whenever he's inconsistent, he still has a good game, but whenever he has great games, it's great.
Yeah, he throws some of the weirdest footballs. I mean, they were talking about this on the broadcast yesterday. That he throws some of the weirdest footballs you've ever seen, ever. And there are times he just drops back, and it looks like he kind of just says, fuck it. and throws it down there. He's like 500, and it just ends up in his wide receiver's arms perfectly. And you're like, how did that happen? So yeah, I mean, I agree. I feel like when he's dialed in, he's dialed. But when he's not, it looks off, and it looks off bad. But it's still, he's still a good quarterback even when he's not feeling it.
Yeah, I don't have much to say about this game. You're right. It's gross. When
It's the
we talk
craft
about
pack, bro.
It's both receiving cores are gross to go after. You drafted Tet high. Coker is just a flex play and a ballsy flex play. But yeah,
If Bryce Young plays, Coker is a flex play.
yeah,
I'm just gonna say I'll put my stamp on it now. That'll be my bullet play of the week. If Bryce Young plays, Coker's a flex. But yeah, it's the craft pack versus which is funny because the craft pack cheeseheads versus the wet paper bag Panthers. So it'll be an interesting game if Bryce Young plays. If not, I don't even. This isn't even going on the corner television. The Vikings versus the Lions. JJ McCarthy probably the starter. You're firing up Jettas. I'm firing up Aaron Jones.
yeah, agreed.
And if I have Mason, I'm reluctantly playing him. Probably as a flex. I'm not trying to rush out start him until we kind of figure out what Aaron Jones is doing. But I think that the Lions are going to get so far ahead in this game that I don't love anybody aside from the pass catchers. And Aaron Jones is the pass catcher. It's not Mason. Mason's not the pass catcher. Aaron Jones is.
Are you starting JMO?
No. I mean, if I have to, yes. But like, I'm not seeking it out. I'm not trying to make room for JMO on my roster.
That's the only thing I had to say about this. I'm just curious about that.
Yeah, other than that, the Lions you're starting the guys you're going to start. Like that's
easy.
easy sauce. You're always starting those same. The Lions are one of the greatest no mystery teams in all of football right now. You know exactly who is going to touch the ball. You can probably count the exact amount of times they're going to touch the ball every single week, like clockwork, and still no one can stop it. It's pretty amazing. So hats off to you, Ted Campbell. Like good for you. Broncos Texans. This game is the muddiest, duddiest, fuddiest, cruddiest game we could possibly ask for, as far as what you could ask for fantasy purposes. You're going to see the Broncos, who are a hurt defense right now, playing the Texans, who are one of the most elite defenses in football, playing two pretty mediocre offenses. The Texans have splashed recently, but against really subpar talent. The Broncos have splashed recently against really subpar talent. It's going to be a testament to see if either team has figured it out, truly. I don't know that we're going to see a whole lot of fireworks, Jason. What do we have in store, resident Texans fan? Oh, I caught you mid-drink. My bad.
No, I honestly have no idea.
Here, this is how I feel about playing anybody from this game. Because I'm probably going to be wrong.
I mean, Nico, you have to play him. It's nice to know that Surtain is not going to be playing.
Yeah.
No, I love.
Yes.
He doesn't get the ball enough.
True.
Schultz, I think you can start him possibly. It's
Broncos are one of the best defenses against tight ends.
Exactly. And it's just like, it's weird because he could probably pop off for one game against them. But Woody Marks is the only other option. The Broncos are the weird one because it's like, who the hell is going to go off in this game?
Against the Texans, I don't want to try to figure it out. I'd rather find a way to bench everybody involved. And I mean that in the most sincere manner possible. Even J.K. Dobbins, I'm not rushing out to start. I know he's going to be involved. I know I'm not going to be able to bench him because I probably don't have fantastic other options. However, I'm not trying to, again, like J-Mo situation, I'm not rushing out to make moves to move him into my roster if I can avoid it.
Yeah, I do like him more than any of the receivers.
Okay, are you starting RJ Harvey?
I don't want to.
3 touchdowns Cinderella himself. Or does he turn back into a pumpkin? It is 2 days after Halloween.
I don't want to, but if I have to, I will, especially if
Okay.
you have guys on the on bye with this week.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, the Chargers play the Titans in another game that we
Gross.
you're just gonna start like the Chargers guys, who Kamani Badal. You're gonna start whatever wide receiver you have that is of the Chargers, including Quentin Johnston. I'm sorry, Quentin Johnston owners. He's had a great run. You're gonna keep starting him and suck it up. Okay, he's put up like 28 points in like 4 games this year. Suck it up. No one wants
That
to hear
was
you complain.
gross last week.
Oh yeah, it was terrible. But like, I don't want to hear you complain. He played like one of the best wide receivers in football for like 3 weeks. It comes with volatility. I'm sorry. Especially when he has a future Hall of Famer on one side and he has a lightning lad on the other side. Like, there's going to be times he just doesn't see the football. Sorry. Especially when you have the emergence of the former All-Pro's son, Rondé Gadsden. Titans, Shamari DK, Tony Pollard may get traded. I don't know. Yeah, I don't want to start any of them. Fun fact, I saw that Cam Ward has the exact same stats as Josh Rosen. And a worse record. Yeah, and a worse record. That was the shocking thing. Josh Rosen was like 2-5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So bad look in the Titansville. Yeah, I think we can move on, Jason. Do you have anything else you'd like to add?
Staying away from that.
Yeah. Yeah. The Jaguars, speaking of another stay away game, Jags Raiders. This game is awful. So is the next game. So I'm sorry, this is a 3-game block where it's just puke. You're starting your normal players. Don't think outside the box for the Jags or the Raiders. You're getting Brock Bowers back for the Raiders. You're getting Travis Hunter is probably the best play you can make for the Jags. And that's it. Like Parker Washington, probably.
Yeah, he's been getting a lot of targets.
Yeah, he's fun fact. He's a Nittany Lion guy who has great hands, is a great chain mover, but he's not the most physically gifted. He's a poor man's Amon-Ra St. Brown. That's what he is. And the Raiders, dude, they can't hold a block long enough for their offense to be relevant in fantasy football. So you're going to start the guys that you drafted highly, like Bowers and Genty, and suck it up. Sorry. Saints Rams.
Ew.
It is Tyler Shough in the Bayou, but they're not in the Bayou. They're actually flying across the country to LA to take on the Rams. Who in this game, aside from if Puka Nacua is healthy, are we excited to start from either one of these teams? Because, I mean, Devontae Adams probably. I said Puka if he's healthy, but like Puka, Devontae, Kyron Williams, I think that ends the list. For me.
Yeah, I don't. Who are you most excited to start on the Saints?
Mo Labe, maybe.
Yeah, I think that's about it.
And then, I mean, Rashid Shaheed's in the conversation to be a flex. Don't get me wrong. Kamara has been terrible. He also got hurt. I don't know if he's healthy completely. So then you're looking at Devin Neal, who, I'm a fan of because he went to KU, which is right down the road. But I'm not trying to start him against the Rams. I was like, I'm not trying to start him against the Rams and Jared Verse. Sorry,
exactly.
Not my first inkling. The Saints are 14-point underdogs for a reason. This game only has 43 points as the total. Jason, there's not going to be a whole lot of points scored from the Saints. It's going to be mostly Rams. I'm not trying to start any Saint if I can avoid it. And then we have the de facto best game of the week. For your NFL game of the week, the Kansas City Chiefs travel all the way over to Buffalo to take on the mighty Bills and Josh Allen. Will the Chiefs be able to slay the Giant in what is the Bills' Super Bowl every year? Jason, any players you want to call out?
I think you're firing up everybody from the Chiefs right now. I mean, the hottest offense in the league with the Bills, it's scary. You really don't know what you're getting. We don't want Allen to be Superman until the playoffs, but at the same time, I feel like this is one of the games where he wants to be a Superman. They might take the leash off of him.
Oh yeah,
I still can't fire up Coleman.
You're firing up everybody in this game.
You think so?
Yeah, it's the highest point total in the entire slate. And it's only getting higher. The other two that are competing are Ravens, Dolphins, Bears, Bengals. And Cardinals, Cowboys is actually the highest point total.
Mhm.
Yikes, I didn't see that. That's interesting. That's kind of shocking to me. Anyways, I want every piece of every part of every offense of this game. Chiefs defense isn't fantastic. Bills defense is decimated with injuries and also not good. So, like, if I have anybody, I'm starting them. And keep an eye on Isaiah Pacheco because he did strain his MCL. He was fine. He looked like he was ready to come back in the game. They may keep him out. I doubt it. They don't really want to give the Bills this game for free. A little pride factor going on here. So yeah, I want to start everybody. Sunday Night Football, Jason. We have the Seattle Seahawks, the Road Hawks, as we like to call them this year, taking on the Washington Commanders. Do the Commies kick the Hawks out of Washington, or do the Hawks take to the skies? What is your call?
The Commanders need to win this game.
They do. Yeah.
The Seahawks D-line is a top 3 D-line in the league. It depends if Jaden Daniels is playing. Exactly. I think you're firing up just the regular dudes in this game. I don't think you're taking any chances. The biggest question is Kenneth Walker and what is happening at the goal line.
Yeah, that's true. Is it Zach Charbonnet? Is it Kenneth Walker? It's like when you peel the flower, it's like, does she love me? Does she love me not? I feel like that's how they decide who's going to do things in that offense as a running back. Is it Kenneth Walker? Is it Zach Charbonnet? And that's it. That's the meme. And the Commanders, Bill Jakrowski Merritt has been the most uninspiring RB1, I think, of the entire season. And the hype is there and the production is not. So, like, but you're probably starting him anyway. You're probably starting him anyways.
Exactly.
Against a really, 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 really good defense. So you hope that Jaden Daniels is back. And the Seahawks, you're starting JSN and your running backs. You could probably start Darnold.
Yeah, I'm thinking about starting Darnold as a streaming play this week.
Yeah, Commanders lost not Arden Key. Oh, that's gonna hurt me. Joe, fill in the blank later when you get back to this. They lost one of the defensive linemen at the end of the Chiefs game. So a depleted unit already gets more hurt. And so it's not a good look. I think the Seahawks can run the football here and make some things happen. Monday Night Football, Jason. We have what is apparently the highest scoring game of the week. We have the Arizona Cardinals going over to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. Listen, as the point total alludes to, you're firing everybody up. The Dallas Cowboys couldn't stop a Colt. And the Arizona Cardinals, one of the most forgiving defenses in all of football right now. So, like, and also the Cowboys offense is freaking, aside from last week where they kind of stumbled and fumbled, lost their way quickly. has been one of the most elite units in football thus far this season. So, I mean, hell yeah, fire everybody up. Is there anyone you would like to be like, I want that guy, aside from Michael Carter, who got cut?
I really want to say Tolbert, but it's like there's 3 options in Dallas right now that you can
Yeah.
only rely on, right?
Yeah,
And
Fergie didn't even get an option. He wasn't even an option last week. He was 0
Exactly.
catches on 1 target. Like, I struggled with that game plan a lot. I was like, how do you not use one of your best players? Anyways,
It's got to be a get right week for Dallas, though.
it does. I
That's
think
what
it's a
you'd
bounce back spot.
expect.
I think it's huge points. I think this is
Yeah.
going to be numbers on the board, and I want every part of it. Fire them up. Yeah. Jason, anything else you got for me on these games? Any hot takes? Any, wannabe call-outs?
No, I guess the only question I have for you, if you're looking for a streaming option and you have Hurts or one of the quarterbacks that are on bye, who would you look to go after on waiver
Ooh.
wires?
That is a fantastic question. I actually found myself asking that question in one of my leagues. I think Darnold would be target 1. I think Trevor Lawrence, if he's available, would be
Mhm.
target 2. And I think JJ McCarthy would be target 3.
You're holding your breath for JJ, though.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, as the third option, I'm not running out there to take JJ. I do think the Lions' defense isn't that good, so like
Agreed. Mhm.
you can take advantage of Lions. You can put up points. So I mean, if you think JJ, okay, let me backtrack. It's not JJ that we're worried about. At least not that I'm worried about. I think JJ is a good quarterback. I think he will continue to be a good quarterback in the NFL as long as they don't F up his brain.
Mhm.
My issue is who the hell is blocking Aiden Hutchinson on the corners, because they have 2 backup tackles who are absolute cheeks on what was the worst unit in football last year of the offensive line. So they've only gotten more injured on the offensive line. They've only gotten worse, and that's crazy because they were already 31st in the NFL last year in offensive line rating. So if JJ is a full go, I don't care. I want to know if he has protection, because
Mhm.
that's the only way that he's a relevant quarterback, is if he's standing upright and not buried in a casket at the end of the game for Aiden Hutchinson.
Love it.
Well, without further ado, again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you want more of this content, make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below if we missed anything and you want to let us know about it. Tell us, hey, you missed my favorite player. You didn't talk about Tank Bigsby enough on bye. We're sorry. We'll get to it next time when he's playing. But Jason, I think it's time for us to say good night. See you later. Sayonara. We love you to the moon and back. Peace out.